Hi Capricorn, here's a general look at your solar chart for June 2010. Now, after last month's more light-hearted, sort of friendly, sociable feel, until the 21st of June, you'll have the urge to get organized, I think. This is the month for you to be getting things sorted out on basic levels around you. So do repairs, maintenance, if it's necessary, have a checkup, go in for therapies, kind of just clean up your act a bit. And it's therefore a time for you to roll up your sleeves and work harder at things, either through personal choice or because the situation just demands this of you. It could be still quite sociable and chatty around you, and you know, the need to collaborate, maybe cooperate with others every now and again. But yeah, but probably still quite a bit of you know, meshing your schedule, your requirements in with that of the schedule and the requirements of others. But overall, it's kind of friendly in your environment, and possibly you'll be having more contact with children. And you'll still be getting the chance to show off a bit, take a bit of a risk, take a bit of a gamble maybe on things up until the 10th, that is. Now, there's a need for you to be mutually supportive in alliances, I think, and you could actually find that it's easier than you expected to do business with people with opposite numbers, you know, or not as bad as you thought it might be anyway. And then from the 7th, when Mars finally moves out of Virgo for a few weeks until the end of July, actually, you'll be on something of a learning curve there, I think. There'll be a lot of new data coming in, probably. You could just be in an environment like that. Interesting stuff, some of it, no doubt, but things could take off fast into new areas, go off sort of like in various directions, and you'll have to be quite nimble on your mental feet sometimes. But I think the main thing to comment on here is that you've had this very long transit from Mars, which has been affecting you on a kind of a very private, sort of emotional kind of level. So once Mars moves on the 7th, gone will be this feeling of inner conflict, which has been sort of burdening you down whenever you kind of thought about it, I guess. This thing that's been secretly bugging you for a long time, that might have been about your financial situation. Maybe it's been debts due or owed, or it might have been that somebody else's approach or behavior hasn't really clicked with you, you know, and you've had to kind of try and work around it. Somebody else's value system. You may have been a bit of a clash going on there with somebody, and somebody has maybe known how to push your buttons. On the other hand, it kind of been something like a mutual commitment where you had to be very sort of active within that with somebody, you know, but actually there's been aspects of the way they handle things that actually you have been not happy really to go along with. So that's going to be gone, and out with the old and in with the new, really. So this expansive, more adventurous vibration will be there for several weeks. So it's going to be a good time for you to launch new projects, get the ball rolling on things. Some of you will be traveling Some of you will be familiarizing yourself with a whole body of knowledge. Maybe it's, some of you will be going into education, even if it's not formal education. I think you'll be learning an awful lot. And really your thinking probably is going to be changing on certain things. You may be reassessing certain former standpoints and letting go of what's been holding you back, or you can see more clearly is now holding you back, so that you can shift and kind of move on. You may feel a little reluctant about this, but you've just got to make the best maybe of things, and then you're going to see this wider range of options coming in, opening many doors, I think, and giving you, the feeling almost like of release and a relief coming in here. However, you'll need to be persevering with that and roll with reality and, retain your integrity, which will, even though things are going to be changed at, sort of like at the foundations of your life, maybe, at the roots of your life over the months ahead, this Mars transit is going to help you sort out just where you stand through discussion, playing with ideas, and I suppose bouncing ideas off others. Now, Uranus, that planet there has just moved as well. That's going to bring sudden change and shake things up on the home base. Could be affecting property, could be affecting family members, or the dynamic within the family and within your domestic routines or their domestic routines. But Jupiter also in that area does hold the promise of positive expansion, even though it can be a bit jerky and sudden at times, and a bit kind of unexpected, but actually Jupiter is a really, I would say, a protective influence and a positive influence, and it should, over, again, not just this month, but the weeks to come, ensure that you get this newfound sense of security about your foundations, about your base, and that can be actually where you are anchored, where your foundation is inside. This transit bodes well for anything around property, and also for members of your clan, your community, your neighborhood. It's like things start to feel that there's more potential there, there's more room for improvement, so improvements can start to be made, change can start to be made, and you get this calmer, more settled feeling within. So, you feel happy to kind of play with that. But as I say, sometimes there's some surprises, and I think this is going to affect early Capricorns more than, Capricorns born in the last part or the second half of the sign, although that energy will pulse all the way through the sign. Now, when Venus moves from mid-month, there could be a financial boost for you in the pipeline, and that's going to be from the 14th onwards. That's going to be a really good time for you to get things sorted out on those financial levels. Apply for funding, could even be something that just comes towards you, you never know your luck, but actually it's more likely than not with Venus there. Or you can use that power of the attraction to pull towards you what you would want on those material levels. Good for property transactions as well from the 14th. And then I must just mention, you early Capricorns, you're going to be undergoing the huge changes because of Pluto transiting the early degrees of Capricorn, meaning there's going to be radical shifts affecting you on an inner level, but also on an outer level, because, the inner mirrors the outer, and the outer in some way, affects how one feels inside as well. And many of you will be sort of squaring up to inner truths maybe, and getting clean and clear with yourself, so that you will be able to move on into the future inhabiting a more authentic version of who you really are, because really this transit of Pluto is going to root out anything which in your conditioning, in your history, in your connections, in your professional, actually really across the board, root out anything which is stopping you from really being and doing what you came here to be and do. It is actually an evolutionary, a very major and significant evolutionary transit, this of Pluto. But on the way there, there can be some ups and downs. Now, from the 21st, working closely with someone, getting to appreciate their side of things, that's going to be highlighted. And as I say, finances take a turn for the better. Well, that's it for June. And if you know your rising sign, it's useful to listen to that, because that will tone in some way what you've heard here. And I'll see you the next time.